that she had made spelt bread, and when she came to do it again, her husband said to her, please don't. So I told her that I would make this video so that she might pick up a tip or two. The main one will probably be to start with your water, because when you start with the flour, it always gets to the point where it's difficult to get more water in there, and it can turn out like a brick. That was the way I was shown how to make it when I was a kid in Singapore. I went to a military school and the army provided the flour. And my most lasting memory of it was a very pristine young cookery teacher saying, just sieve out the weevils. I would advise you not to use measurements when you're making bread, because it will just put you off doing it. And if you want to make bread on a regular basis, then you want to keep it as simple as possible. What I normally do is I just make sure that I've got plenty of flour, and it really doesn't matter how much you make, because you can store it for 4 or 5 days and then it becomes sourdough, and you can cook it as sourdough bread. But for today, I'm going to measure it. I've got 3 mugs of water. 2 of them are boiling water and 1 of them is cold water. My oil, about half a teaspoonful of sugar, about 2 teaspoonfuls of salt. I'm doing it this way so that the oil and the salt takes up some of the heat. I start with the liquid for several reasons. It keeps the washing up down, it's easier to handle, and it makes a good moist bread. The temperature I want is to be able to hold my hand in here for the count of 10. Now that I've got it there, I can add my yeast. I'm going to put in about that amount. That's quite a lot of yeast because I want it to work quickly, because I'm starting this at 6:15 in the evening. It's quite late. I'm going to go straight in with my coarser flour. So I've put a whole bag in there. Now, if you've got a very coarse flour with lots of bran in it, then this particular part is really important. To put in just as much flour as to make a very thick porridge. And now we're going to leave it like this so as the flour absorbs the water and swells, doing some of the work for me. 10 minutes later, I put in my soft flour and bring it from the outside, and immediately I start kneading. Pull over, push, turn. Pull over, push, turn. Pull over, push, turn. Sounds like a honeymoon bed, doesn't it? Spelt flour is the original flour, and it's got a really nice nutty taste about it. Here we have just less than 1.5 kilos of dough. I'm going to take about 1 kilo and I'll put that into a box which I've already oiled. This, once it's proved, and proved just once, I can cut it and put it straight into the oven, or take off pieces and griddle it, and if I don't use it soon enough, then hey presto, it's sourdough bread. This other piece of dough I'm going to cook into a loaf in the oven. I'm using a flour pot. Fill the hole with tin foil, grease it lavishly, and then also also flour it. You can check that you haven't missed anywhere with the grease. Yeah, nothing's going to stick to that. And then we knead our dough just a little bit more. And we make it into shape. If you're going to bake a loaf, then it is important to cover it with a damp cloth. That stops the crust forming. You might want to think about lighting your oven at this point. I've retrieved these things from their warm places. Oh, 9 o'clock. I'm going to put the bread in there. So here I am, 9:30. May this be a lesson to us. There's the bread. We take it straight out and put it in for another 5 minutes. Here we are again. Yeah. So that is us. Good hard crust. Sounds hollow. It's done. 10 o'clock. Here we are the next day. I just want to show you what it's like inside. Bear in mind we did not do a second proving. You can see it's got a perfectly good texture. Of course, the lesson that we could all learn there was don't start baking bread at 6 o'clock in the evening. Before I go, I thought I would show you something that might be of interest to you. And it is how to gather together all of the rabbits in your area by using just a packet of cigarettes. What you do, open it up, take a cigarette until it is about that height. Then we, calling all rabbits, calling all rabbits. Jesus loves you. The dough's got a bit stuck to the cloth. Not really what we would have hoped for, but it's not a great colour. Of course, only sensible people with ovens in your house won't have this sort of trouble.